All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the recap for the second time this week. A Clash in Paris special is what we'll call it. Michael D'Angelo, joined as always by my partner in crime, Mr. Big D, Daryl Ortiz, coming off of Clash in Paris. Interesting, Big D.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it left room for more to build, I guess we could say. But
Yeah.
it was interesting. So we did start off with Roman Reigns against Bronson Reed, which I was a little surprised. I know we talked about it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I was a little surprised. I thought there was gonna be some other matches that were gonna start it. But in all fairness, the Paris crowd was hot. They were excited, they were eager, and I think that's what helped this match immensely. This match really didn't have much to. This was more just like a blow off match, really,
Yeah.
for these two guys, because it's just the feud just was not really anything crazy other than he stole his shoes. But I mean, it was interesting to say the least. But it did set up for the main event, which we kind of thought was going to be the case. I know you had mentioned that if it did start off, it would be early so that way Bronson Reed can recover to
Yeah.
help Seth Rollins, but that kind of backfired on all of us.
Yeah.
So you had actually, I just want to talk quick briefly about Roman Reigns' entrance. I know there's a lot of debate online because he was wearing two Ulafalas. He was wearing a red one and a black one. People were blowing up online debating because apparently, to one insider, yeah, he was wearing two to honor his his father and his uncle.
His uncle. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that makes sense. Other people are saying in Samoan culture, two Ulafalas is like a higher ranking than tribal chief. So I think that's because they're talking about The Rock, maybe taking, not taking that, But I think we're done seeing The Rock. To be honest, I
I
don't
think so
think.
too.
I feel like if he hasn't come out yet with the John Cena stuff and Travis Scott is no longer going to be doing WWE stuff, I feel like that kind of is already gone. So I'm leaning more towards the side of he was just honoring his dad and his uncle. But of course, I'd love to be worked and surprised. I don't know. But
Yeah. Well, and they said that on commentary too. I want to
hmm
say Michael Cole pointed that out.
hmm
I'm kind of going with they said it on commentary. It's canon. That's what it
yeah,
was.
because if it was because of a higher ranking or whatever, Michael Cole would have been he would have just like poured that down our throats. Like he would have
Yeah.
been like putting that in our face like constantly. So excuse me, but the match was fine. It was okay. Paul Heyman was the only one at ringside. Bronson Reed looked great. He had a good. He did really well in his in his in ring ability. I mean, he's just good. I don't know what else to say. He's good. They
Yeah.
had a lot of good move sets, a lot of power moves because Roman Reigns is strong. So that's the great thing of it. He hit a Superman punches, hit his spears. You had a bunch of avalanche Samoan drop like that was actually really cool.
Yeah.
There was a lot that went on. The crowd was just eating it all up. So I felt that was
Yeah.
great. Roman Reigns ended up winning, was celebrating at the end, took his shoes back. He did choke out Paul Heyman, which was a great.
Yeah. You
That
choked him
was
out with a
his like.
guillotine choke.
Yeah, and Paul Heyman sold the hell out of that, even tapping and all that good stuff. Like he finally got, because of course Paul Heyman in typical Paul Heyman fashion was like, no, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief, and Roman Reigns just hooked him into that guillotine, took his shoes back, celebrated. They actually cut his laces, saying he was signing shoes and throwing them into the crowd, which was pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
And then all that, but that was a setup because out of nowhere Braun Breaker comes out and spears the hell out of him on the announce table, which was a great visual. That was a nice visual. And of course, it ended up being a brawl afterwards. It actually went on for a really long time. Lots
It
of
did.
tsunamis, and then
Yeah. We had
put him
like
on the
three
stretcher.
tsunamis. You had
Yeah,
Jay out trying to help and Jay getting beat
Jay
up.
gets speared and beat up, and then Roman's on the stretcher. Then they tsunami him on the stretcher, and it's just like it went on for a long time, and all of that to have Adam Pierce come out backstage and kick the bronze out of the building and tell them that they're banned from returning into the building, and if he sees them again, they're going to be suspended indefinitely. And so that got rid of them, and Paul Heyman went to the hospital because he got choked out. Which I mean, I get it, makes sense, but that eliminated all three help of Seth Rollins. So that was kind of the story of the night. So I'll
Yeah.
pause there. What do you think?
Yeah, no, this I thought was a great opening match. I did think that they were going to open with this one and just have some implications heading into the main event. Wasn't expecting them all to get barred from ringside,
Yeah,
so that was definitely. I will say though, it did telegraph Jay obviously wasn't going to win because Jay got beat up and he is
exactly.
midsection wrapped, and so he's going into the main event. So they did a lot of work towards that storyline from this first match, and I thought it was fun. The crowd was
Yeah,
into it. I thought it was a good match. So
yeah.
yeah,
I like that
this
they
is one of
used
the
it.
better matches that I will say.
It was, but I did like the way they used it as a catalyst for like the main event. So I thought that was actually really really cool. So after that, we had the tag team championship match. Street Profits cosplaying in Borderlands gear because, of course, sponsorships. And so actually it looked really cool. I'm not gonna lie, that intro looked really really cool. I love that. That looked really awesome. I'll give them that. The outfits were great. The fan of me enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Wyatt Six, of course. The what was awesome, and I think Bo probably held back some tears, as I know I did. The entire Paris crowd singing "Shattered"
Yeah.
along, that was amazing. Lights, fireflies everywhere. It was a sight to behold. I can only imagine
Yeah.
what that felt like live. That was beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
And
It was very cool.
yeah, we had that. Of course, Wyatt Six did retain.
Hmm.
They did have, some shenanigans. You had Uncle Howdy hitting the Sister Abigail to Montez, but it was interesting because you did have some back and forth between Montez and Angelo Dawkins,
Yeah, like
kind of fighting.
they were kind of fighting with each other about like who was going to start and then
Hmm.
tagging each other, which this played into what you talked about is the White Six now going to be driving wedges and breaking up tag teams?
Yeah,
So that definitely felt like that. I was like, man, this is what Big D was talking about. Hey, do you make this the new gimmick? It certainly seemed like they were heading in that direction,
yeah,
especially with the way they had them interacting.
I agree. It helped. But you know what though? I feel like that was good because it didn't really hurt with like the interference piece, and it didn't hurt the Street Profits in loss. I mean, they're
Yeah.
still a great tag team. Didn't hurt the Wyatt Six because of course strength in numbers. They were able to retain as a result, of course. So I thought that was great. And it was, I don't know, it was good. I think the right team won. I wanted Wyatt Six to retain. I felt like it was too soon to drop the titles from them. I
Yeah.
think we should let them just kind of hold the tag team division hostage for just a little bit longer with these promos and the spooky stuff. So I'm hoping that that's what happens. So
Yeah. And so far, 2 for 2 on predictions because we had at that point. Well, I think
Roman
did you have
Braun,
Bronson? Did you had Roman Reigns beating Bronson Reed, right?
I'm pretty sure I
Right.
did. I didn't write them down this
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
but
I wanted to say we both
yeah, because
had
I said
that, but
there's no way. I said I wanted
yeah,
Bronson to. I would
yeah,
like to have seen Bronson win
Bronson
because it's a
Reed,
big match for him, but
yeah, but it's probably
Roman,
going to be Roman.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he hadn't really been competing. So yeah, and then Wyatt Six, of
And
course,
the White Six
retaining.
retained, which we had predicted as well.
Spoiler alert, even if I thought they were going to lose, I'll still go for the White Six. After that, we had Becky Lynch defending her
Uh,
Intercontinental title against Nikki Bella in a match that I felt went entirely too long. The crowd seemed
Too
into
long.
it.
Worst match of the night for me. This
Yeah,
was
I mean,
bad.
here's the thing. Like I like what they're like I said last time, right? Like I said yesterday. I said that I get what they were trying to do with
Yeah.
Nikki and Becky. I feel like this match needed a little more time to develop. Of course, they had no choice but to pull the trigger on it. I get that. I'm not complaining about that. However, I feel like Nikki could have had some more in ring work done in front of a crowd because the ring rust did show.
Yeah.
Becky did have some moments where she had to really carry her literally to spots and kind of
Well, and
you
Nikki
could
was missing a lot of spots, and
yeah.
and this is where I was trying to go because they were talking about, oh, was she ill prepared or ring rust, and they're like, are they trying to pretend, is this part of the story? I was like, I think they were just covering at that point,
Mhm.
just saying, oh, she's got ring rust. It wasn't intentional. It just felt like Nikki really was missing her spots,
Yeah.
and
And that's just
commentary
with
was trying to clean it
experience
up.
over
Yeah,
time. I mean, it's wrestling is I know it sounds gonna sound kind of hokey, but it's like a dance, right? Like you have
yeah,
to know where your spots are. Like you have to, and if you don't do it regularly, you don't have the regular, reps in, it shows, unfortunately. But
yeah,
it wasn't like blatantly obvious. Like the crowd really didn't, boo them or anything like that. The crowd was still hot for it. And I think that helped the match a lot.
yeah.
And
And you had
to the
Becky.
casual
Becky
fan,
won with a surprise roll up too, which
well,
was
no,
kind of
it's called the
odd.
lynch pin. It was an
Oh,
interesting. I think she was okay. So I think what happened there, I think she was trying to debut a new move,
yeah,
a new finisher. I think she was trying to debut a new finisher because she has a manhandle Sam, and then she has the
the disarm
disarm
her.
her, right? But I think she was trying to like try debut a new move, but I think Nikki kind of botched it a little bit.
Yeah,
And I think it just kind of like, but because how odd that Wade Barrett was giving it a name,
yeah,
called it the linchpin, which makes sense, but Yeah, again, back to
And
the
it
whole
came off
Reavers
more
thing.
as like a surprise roll up.
Yeah, it
So
was
I
like
was
more,
like,
it
oh,
looked like
this
a
is
surprise. It
weird.
looked like a
Yeah.
crucifix pin. But
Yeah,
when
that's
they
what it
did the
looked like.
replay, I went back and saw it. There was a little more nuance to it, but Nikki just missed the spot. Honestly, that's
Yeah.
what happened. But it is what it is, unfortunately. And again, like I said, no fault to anybody. So before y'all start getting all like, what? No, listen, like I get it. They had no choice but to pull the trigger because Naomi obviously couldn't wrestle her match. This would have been the spot that Naomi and Stephanie Bucket, they probably would have gone first, I think, if
Yeah.
they would have had their match. But it is what it is. It's all good. Let's see what more to come on that. We'll see. I have a little theory on that. After that, we had what I felt was my match of the night, which was Rusev versus Sheamus in the Donnybrook match. Yeah, this match was great. There's no blood in it, obviously, but it was they used everything and anything.
Yeah.
Rusev ended up winning because, of course, Sheamus just refuses to quit until Rusev broke the shillelagh over the back shoulders of Sheamus and then grabbed a piece of it to like do a crazy looking. He got him
He
down
got him
and
in
then
the accolade with
yeah, he hit him in the accolade, but then
the
he like Sheamus tried to get up and then he rocked back. We haven't seen him do that in a long time. And then he like wrapped his legs around him and then pulled harder back, and it looked really bad. So of course Sheamus had no choice but to tap out, and Rusev takes the win. But I feel this match was great from beginning to end. It wasn't slow. It didn't feel long. The crowd ate it up. There was
yeah.
tables, there was chairs, there was candlesticks, there was shillelaghs, there was accolade on top of a stack of barrels. There was a white noise over the stack of barrels over the table. Like it was this match. I felt delivered. What did you think?
Yeah, no, this was good stuff. I will say it was probably the best match of the night. Like I really enjoyed, shockingly, John Cena versus Logan Paul. We'll get to that one, but I thought this one was probably the best match of the night overall, which we've seen them wrestle so many times now. Kind of in the lead up to this, I was a little worried that this was going to be a somewhat stale and flat, but I think since it was the whole Donnybrook rules match, that definitely helped feel unique. I was wrong on this one because I had picked Sheamus. I know it made more sense for Rusev, but I wasn't going to pick against Sheamus. So you're still undefeated at this point on your predictions, and this is where I misstepped. But probably I would agree, best match of the night over.
Yeah. After that, we had honestly, I feel it was a good runner-up for match of the night was John Cena versus
Yeah.
Logan Paul. Surprisingly, but again, not surprisingly, because Logan Paul, like we said before, he's a good wrestler. He's good. He's very athletic. He's very talented. He is. He needs work on his mic skills, which I'm hoping maybe John Cena can coach him up backstage for that because he just needs a little help with that and his delivery because he knows what to say. I mean, obviously he has a podcast, he knows how to talk, all that good stuff. I just think it's like the delivery of it is what he needs to work with because it's different in front of a live crowd. But yeah, John Cena. There's a lot of kicking out of finishers in this one.
There was
John Cena hit all kinds of finishers.
John Cena was mixing this I will say I think is I had said last time the Cody Rhodes street fight was the best match of John Cena's so far. This now I feel is the best match of John Cena's so far on the retirement tour because he mixed up his offense. He hit a end of days when he pulled out the end of days. I was like, oh man, like
yeah,
why did he do that? He did what was it?
The Styles Clash,
the Angel's Wings, which is Christopher Daniels double underhook facebuster, and then he hit a Styles Clash. So I was like, he's really going for it, and I'm going to mix up my offense because that's always been one of the bigger criticisms of John Cena is the 5 moves of doom and not really deviating from it. So I liked the fact that he was just kind of going into the well here and throwing out all these different finishers and different moves from different people, and he used multiple finishers from other superstars. This was a lot of fun, and I thought it was neat to see him kind of take risks like that.
mm-hmm.
And he looked good delivering all of them,
especially the Code Red.
Yeah. Well, and I
Code
think
Red, Hurricane Rana.
Yeah, he did a Hurricane Rana at one point, and I was like, and he picked moves also that he could actually perform at this point in his career too, which I thought the move selection was really, really cool.
Exactly.
I've always loved the end of days as a finisher.
Me too.
I thought it looks cool just because you get that big deep wind up and then you come back with like the flatliner. So, and everything that he picked, he executed really well. So that's what I said. This one was really close to being my match of the night. I was really surprised, and not so surprised by Logan Paul, because I know Logan Paul's a good athlete. I was surprised and impressed with John Cena and his diversity in offense in this one. It was just very cool to see.
I agree. This was a great match. I really enjoyed this match very much, and seeing John Cena literally pull out all the stops.
Yeah.
To show off that he knows more than just his 5 moves of doom, I thought was great.
Yeah.
And the crowd loved it. They responded immensely. Like I said, very close contender for my match of the night because it was really good. I
It
was
was good.
happy.
Yeah.
After that was the main event. We had the heavyweight championship match. We had Seth Rollins, CM Punk, LA Knight, Jey Uso in the Fatal 4-Way. Obviously, Jey Uso bandaged up because of the earlier he tried to come out and help Roman Reigns, which bit him in the butt because he ended up getting hurt. They interviewed Seth Rollins beforehand, talking about what is he going to do if he doesn't have his help. And of course, he reminded everyone that he's the architect, he's the visionary. He doesn't need the vision in order to be successful, which is true. I mean, let's be honest. He doesn't. He never needed
he's built a whole career before the vision.
Yeah. Of being by himself. Like, I mean, when he left from the Shield, he did it all himself, which was like, I know he had that turn with Triple H and everything, but like, he's still like, he always has been by himself. So he's just kind of like, I'm not worried about it. So yeah, Jey Uso come out. You had some CM Punk. You had LA Knight. LA Knight almost had it a few times. That was interesting. Nice little teases.
Well, LA Knight looked really good in this one. And the times where he was getting his offense in, he looked great. I knew he wasn't going to win. Like we knew Seth was going to retain, and we had said that. Like it was way too early. I feel so bad for LA Knight because I thought he was really great here, but you knew he wasn't going to win, and they continue to not really give him opportunities to step in and be that main event guy carrying a world title, and his window is going to continue to close. Like this is where, especially at his age,
he's 42.
He's 42. Time is starting to run out on him, and I really, really hope he gets a world title push soon because I thought he was brilliant here. His wrestling in ring worked really, really good, and obviously his personality is great. His promos were excellent. But yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of how this one concluded, but I want to hear from you, Vic.
Yeah, so of course you had CM Punk, which was probably, if anyone was the favorite of the three, to reclaim his title that he lost so quickly.
Yeah.
Would have been poetic because everything lined up because everyone was hitting their finishers. It was kind of like a finishers fest, which was because nobody was kicking out of finishers, but they were just, it was one person kept pulling in and interfering, which is what you want with a match like this. That's why you have a fatal 4-way, so you don't have to worry about people kicking out of finishers. But everyone kind of hit their best hits, their greatest hits, and then CM Punk was calling for the go to sleep, gets Seth Rollins up on his shoulders. Crowd is losing it because they're thinking finally. Out from the ring comes a hooded figure dressed like a ninja.
A tiny assailant.
Yeah, tiny. I'm like, wait a minute. Right away, I was like, that's a female. And then low blows CM Punk. Obviously, surprise, surprise, Becky Lynch helping her husband out, which CM Punk hits the stomp and then gets the victory. Retains his title. Obviously, always has a plan in place. He is the visionary. He is the architect. I think it played well into his character. The bigger question is because you had Becky Lynch taunting CM Punk. The bigger question, initially, I got excited because I was like, cool. That means we're going to have a intergender match. And we should have AJ Lee come back and defend her husband and come out. Becky Lynch just did a roll up on Nikki Bella, which means it's more than likely going to be CM Punk and Nikki Bella.
Nikki Bella, probably.
Which I'm not a fan of. I'd rather have AJ.
Yeah.
I know people are going to be like, well, same thing. She hasn't wrestled. I don't care.
Yeah, I really don't think AJ is coming back. I mean, I wish she would. I think it would make a lot more sense.
It would make a lot more sense
if she does. Here's my thing. Like the commentary was like, "Oh my gosh, who's Becky Lynch?" Acting shocked. I'm like, "That's her husband." What? And she always talks about her hot husband. And I'm like,
"Of course she's going to help him."
Why is everyone shocked by that? I was like, "This is the least shocking thing that could happen." And
was it a nice surprise? Yes, it was a nice surprise because she's never interfered in his matches before. So it was kind of like, and he never interfered in her matches. They would talk about each other, but they would never like together.
There was never this kind of worlds colliding thing. They just kind of did their own thing separately, and you knew that they were a couple. So I don't know how I really feel about her coming in and being a part of the Vision now, because that's what it looks like. It's like she's going to be official part of this clique now, and I don't know that I necessarily like that either. I don't know that. I think for me, I wish they had just let Seth win. Like, let him win clean. It's a fatal.
Like, win him clean. Yeah. I mean, he could have used the chair. He did. Yeah. I mean,
it's like, well, at least have him not get assistance, because the whole thing was, oh, my guy's got banned from ringside. Hey, I used to do this before. Psych, I really do need help. I need my wife to come in and blow somebody. So I wish they hadn't done that. I think also I just had, Becky Lynch has not been my favorite since becoming the Intercontinental Champion, and I didn't like this whole feud with Nikki Bella either. So I think I was already, and then having seen that sloppy match that they had earlier, like when it happened, I was just like, really? It did somewhat deflate me when it happened, because I already had like a bad taste in my mouth from the match earlier, and I just wasn't wild about it.
I can understand it, but I see the potential in it. I mean, there is potential in it.
But yeah, for me, I was just like, gosh. And I think comparing it to, you had the run of Sheamus versus Rusev, and then you had John Cena and Logan Paul, which were both really good. And I felt like this didn't measure up as the main event to those two matches. So it was just a little bit of like a little deflating kind of watching that play out, and also seeing LA Knight look so good and knew he wasn't going to win. I think I was kind of on the emotional roller coaster of knowing LA Knight's not going to win. You already took out Jey Uso, you did this, and then you had Becky interfere. Just kind of the totality of it made me go like, but I get why they did it, and I think it makes sense. And Becky Lynch is great, and I'm sure she'll be great as part of the Vision too. But we'll see where they go with it. We'll see what happens on Monday. Well, what happens tonight, as they move forward with this. I'm assuming they're going to address that immediately.
Probably. I think he'll come out. I think he'll be the first one out. I have a feeling that'll be the case. I think he'll be the first one out. And that'll be interesting to see. We shall see. Yeah. I don't think they really... I think we have is there a championship match? Yes, AJ Styles.
Yeah.
And
AJ Styles versus Dominic is going to be probably the main event, I'm assuming.
Probably,
right?
Yeah. So we'll see. More to come. But that was Clash in Paris in a nutshell. Let us know, of course, what you think. I think overall this was a fun show. It was nice that it was in the middle of the day. That was a kind of nice little,
Yeah, like the timing on it was cool. I enjoyed that. John Cena versus Logan Paul was really, really good.
It was surprisingly really good. Yeah.
It did exceed my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I thought overall it was solid. I'm going to give it a B+. I'm not giving it an A show. I'll give it a B+. I think there was enough matches that were like, the tag match was fine. The Street Profits and the Wyatt Six, it was fine. The Becky Lynch Nikki Bella was not very good. Everything else solid. So
I'll give it an A because I went 6 for 6.
Oh yeah. Well, I was like, you get an A on predictions, Big D. That's what you get. You get an A for the perfect card. And with that was Clash in Paris, everyone. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments. We love to hear from you always. And that's what we got this week, after you got the double dose of the recap for this week. And we'll be back next week with all the shenanigans from Raw and SmackDown. So until next time, I've been Michael D'Angelo. He's been Big D Daryl Ortiz. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you soon.